Hello everyone in 2025. Congratulations to surviving another year and welcome in AI economy. So today I want to talk about my AI predictions for web development in 2025, and it's going to be top 11 things that are my predictions. Right, so let's jump in. So first, it's a kind of a joke. I believe the recruiters will soon demand candidates with 4 years of V0 experience, even though it's only been for 2 years. It's an industry joke that recruiters demand from candidates unexpected, unrealistic years of experience. So I think AI will be one of those things. 2. Documentation. Finally, devs will stop treating documentation like an optional side quest. And there's a good reason why. AI will read it. Every experienced developer will confirm that not always that's the case to write full documentation. And the reason is because when you have a team of developers, maybe only a few people, new joiners, read documentation, and then nobody else do that. So there's a very little incentive to write proper documentation. However, this changed because the main reader of the docs will become AI. Now, I believe frameworks and libraries will start doing some ready, prepared context packages that someone can just copy to the clipboard and then paste into whether it's a chat or a context for the prompt as a context for requirements to deliver for AI agents. We're literally going to write documentations for robots now. 3. Now this is a funny part one. I actually created a separate video on that topic. It was called AI SEO. However, let me show you the picture. So I'm sure you know that websites are created using responsive design for desktop, tablet, mobile. However, I think now we're going to introduce AI view. What it means that, so 10 years ago, industry leaders were saying that mobile first will be the new standard. Not many people believed, but now when you check analytics, some of the businesses and industries, mobile is actually the majority of their traffic and revenue. So I think the new Viewport, the new kind of response from the websites is going to be a special design for AI agents, AI crawlers, and AIs in general. So it's going to be used server-side rendering and probably like a JSON format, or just strip out the whole UI, just pass the data, which is going to be like 10 or 100 times smaller than a website. 4. Yeah, speaking of design, graphic design, it's very opinionated and it's for human eye. However, I believe that companies will prioritize functionality, simplicity, and shipping faster over graphic design. Because, well, first of all, people will be used to standard UI, UX, user experience. And that means that if you can quickly design something like UI, tools like V0 will be your starting point for building UIs. And I believe that there will be a trend that everyone will start looking the same, or at least for AI bots and agents, it will be all look and feel the same, which is, I think, a good thing because you know where to look for, what to use, and how things work. 5. This topic probably deserves a new video, separate video, and I believe that 2025 will be the year of AI commerce. Let me give you some examples. So from backend, you can automate stuff and workloads like answering reviews and creating summary of those reviews, creating frequent asked questions, and customer support. We can automate most of that. Now on the front-end part, we are used to AI personalization, but for the last few years, it was done using ML, machine learning. And now you don't need a whole team of backend ML engineers. You can literally use LLM, simple prompt, put in the context, the whole browse history, context of your user, and then what we will get, your shopping cart will know what you want before you do. Yes, resistance is futile. Now this is quite funny one. So we in Europe, we are suffering a lot about cookie banners, cookie consent, and I believe it's coming a new kind of thing thanks to the European Union and law regulations, because websites and AI commerce want to use new kind of context, not cookies, but actually personalized information about the user. So imagine the situation that browsers will have information about the user, whether it's going to be a native support from the browser or some kind of plugins written by third-party developers. The website will ask for the consent. Hey, give me a context of the user. And there will be tons of information about the user. However, example, let's say my girlfriend's birthday is in 10 days and the context, the information on my computer is quite a lot about myself. However, the website will ask, okay, give me some personalized context, and the local AI on my laptop will decide, okay, I'm on a gift shop and my girlfriend's birthday is in 10 days, so I'm gonna just give this small part of information about me and my girlfriend as a couple, plus information what I like, what she likes, and then I'm gonna have personalized box on the bottom, recommendation box, super tailored to my needs. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? I see two actually things. Privacy breach or European Union over-regulate like we have with cookie banners. We're gonna have AI banners. That's what I'm thinking gonna happen in 2025. 7. From the previous video about AI SEO, there was an article and some statistics what's happening with AI crawlers and the traffic. AI crawlers like OpenAI, Anthropic, and others, they're gaining traction. And I believe this race will continue. And also, I believe there will be special directories, catalogs of websites that will serve this content only for AI crawlers, what I said, that will start happening this year. And I'm not sure if you know, but Google has two separate search index. One is for the desktop and one is for the mobile. You have different results for the same query depending on what device you're on. And I believe that Google will create a third new index, AI first indexing, AI index. 8. Now, if you're in business, in enterprise, or you're working in development, you know that companies like super old problem and discussions is buy versus build. And everyone's making decisions whether it's better to buy off-the-shelf ready solution like CMS, CRM, search solution, recommendation engine solution, reviews solution, or just build it internally. To build it internally, you need to have an experience, knowledge, hire the team. A lot of companies just decided to buy the off the shelf. I believe that companies will ditch those SaaS like yesterday Docker's container. And the reason is because building custom solutions, which by definition is better than off the shelf, will be faster, cheaper, and just plain cooler when your AI does half of the work. So today, engineers are using AI and they become 5 to 10 times faster, 5 to 10 times better quality. And that means that I believe companies will build in-house or build themselves. 9. So going forward from the previous point about building themselves, that means that the companies will start hiring. And there's another decision, whether it's in-house or offshore, like agencies, software houses, let's say, to outsource it to India or some cheaper places to hire. But again, AI will make internal developer teams 10 times faster and more efficient, leading companies to favor in-house hires over agencies. Yeah, I believe it's coming. 10. There are two things about this one. So the title is Everyone's Creator. However, this point is about prototyping. This point is about making efficient requirements. So your project manager will prototype a feature using the tool like V0 and call it a small tweak. Everyone can create a prototype, create a proof of concept and mock-up for what needs to be done and use it as a part of the requirement. You can attach it as a Jira ticket for the developer instead of in text or in some sketches to describe. Usually instead of sketches, the professional companies use UX or designers to show what they want in mockups, right? Figma, etc. However, now everyone can build literally functional proof of concepts. And then you take this proof of concept as a requirement to developer that reduce the friction and miscommunication that this is not what I wanted, etc. So developer will take from POC to MVP, minimum viable product, much faster. And it's actually a win-win situation for developers as well, because it's a kind of a joke, finally requirements that make sense. Yeah, until, project managers will add more stuff. All right, the last one, top 11. It's kind of a hot take because running an AI for every user, every visited user on the website is quite expensive still, but it's not that expensive as people think. And with months going by, it's cheaper and cheaper, and there are other solutions. So what is AI inference? AI inference is just running, this streaming ChatGPT thinking. That's inference. The moment that AI thinks, that costs electricity and runtime of tons of GPUs, clusters of NVIDIA GPUs. And nobody normally done that for each visit because that would be super expensive. However, I believe this year, finally, we're going to see that people visiting some e-commerce websites, there will be small AI thinking, analyzing the browser history and everything, and it will be profitable. And the reason is browsers like Chrome right now have very small AI models. They're not that smart like ChatGPT, the latest models, 01, 03, which have like 120, 150, or even 200 IQ, depending on the question. It's still doable for this narrow task that's needed. So that's one solution. Another one is bring your own key, or just companies will swallow the bill running it on server side on their own servers and pay for that. So AI and runtime will finally be normal. And there's a joke, your website might be run slower than a Java application on a 2008 netbook, but hey, at least it's intelligent. Okay, and on the end, I just want to show how I created this content. So a whole ideas, top 11 points are mine. I came up with them myself. Then I rewrote those ideas using ChatGPT, generated images with ChatGPT, and then all those slides I actually created using V0, which with 23 prompts. right? Thank you and see you in the next one.